Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's case is very disturbing and involves a minor, and I just want to say that the details of this case will leave you distraught and make you question who really deserves to be a parent. Shaniya Davis was about 5 years old when about around 5:30 a.m. on November 10th, 2009, Brenda Davis and Jeroy Smith had awoke to what sounded like someone possibly breaking into their home. The sound had stopped, so they had decided to drift off to sleep. But they didn't sleep for that long when Brenda's sister, Antoinette, had burst into their room and had told them that her daughter, Shaniya, was missing. While the house was in complete chaos, Antoinette Davis had decided she was going to go outside to look for her daughter. Brenda Davis, who was Antoinette's sister, begged Antoinette to call the police and to let them know that Shaniya was missing. However, Antoinette was very hesitant to call the police. She did not want to get the police involved in Shaniya's disappearance. But since Brenda kept asking her and telling her, hey, you need to call the police, she finally did so. And of course, at first, this doesn't seem to put any red flags to Brenda. I mean, a lot of people don't like dealing with the police. A lot of people see the police as someone that they can't look forward to help, so in her eyes it was completely understandable as to why Antoinette might not have wanted to get the police involved. However, when there's a missing child involved, somebody needs to be called, authorities need to be notified so this missing child can have the proper resources to be looked for. After the police call, Antoinette was interviewed multiple times during the next couple of days, and at first she had claimed to have no idea what happened to Shaniya, but her story would quickly change in the next coming days. By the time the police had first interviewed her, Shaniya was already spotted twice on security footage at a nearby hotel with a man police had not yet identified. Antoinette Davis offered a name to the police, but it was a wrong one. She accused her boyfriend at first, and he was later arrested shortly after. But it didn't take long to figure out that he was not the kidnapper. Antoinette later confirmed that she had lied and that the real kidnapper was a man named Mario McNeil. And I know you guys are wondering, why would a parent lie about their missing child? That's because Antoinette was hiding a very disturbing and disgusting secret from the police. On the night of November 9th, McNeil had been at home with his girlfriend and his young son. He was taking a white substance and he was drinking liquor all evening. He then decided to start texting a woman in his phone. Eventually, this led him to his ex, Brenda Davis. Brenda didn't respond to him and her phone was off, but another woman who happened to live in the same trailer park did. McNeil made his way to a Sleepy Hollow mobile home park, but the woman who had responded to him had fallen asleep. Once more, he tried to text Brenda Davis again. She didn't answer, but it didn't matter though. McNeil knew how to get into the trailer. Police had their man, but then came another shocking twist to the case. McNeil hadn't abducted Shaniya. Antoinette Davis herself had just handed Shaniya off to him, and the reason, what she explained her reasoning for, is that it was to settle a debt that she had with McNeil. Antoinette had told investigators that I gave her to him to cover a $200 debt, and that he was only supposed to be having sex with her 5-year-old daughter. Initial reports had claimed that Davis owed McNeil money for substances, though Cumberland County District Attorney Billy West later stated that this was not true. Rather, he said that McNeil had lent Davis $200 to buy food and to pay for a hotel room when she and her children found themselves homeless. In either case, Davis didn't have money to pay McNeil back, and the intoxicated man, aka McNeil, told her he either wanted money or sex. And that's when Davis offered Shaniya to him. And she was only 5 years old, and this was her daughter. This is just so disturbing and so disgusting. Antoinette claimed to investigators that she had tried to stop McNeil from taking Shaniya, but West stated that investigators did not believe her. They had found a feces-covered blanket in the trash can outside of Antoinette's home, which suggested to them that Shaniya had been assaulted prior to being abducted. During the trial, McNeil stated that he had no idea where he left Shaniya at. His lawyer said that he left her somewhere along the Route 87 between Spring Lake and Stanford near some green portable toilets. Police obviously quickly found the area and began a massive search, which included officers from the Virgin Islands who were visiting North Carolina for dog handling training. Ultimately, it was one of these officers who found Shaniya Davis's body hidden beneath a log. An autopsy would later reveal that she was sexually assaulted and smothered to death. McNeil was obviously convicted, and this happened in May 2013, of kidnapping, murder, human trafficking, sexual servitude, taking indecent liberties with a minor, and sex offense of a child by an adult offender. He was sentenced to death. Antoinette Davis, however, was pregnant at the time of her arrest when she gave birth to her child. It was taken away from her and put into foster care. She faced her own charges and tried to put in an Alford plea, which means that she wasn't pleading guilty, but admitting that the state has adequate evidence to convict her. Ultimately, she was guilty of second-degree murder, human trafficking, conspiracy, kidnapping, sexual offense, sexual servitude, and taking indecent liberties of a minor. A news station later reported that Antoinette said, "I want to say I did my best I could with my children. I never said I was a perfect mother, but I was a good mother. I did what I had to provide for them. I did what I had to make sure that they were all right, and I didn't have any help for anybody." In response to this ridiculous statement that Antoinette Davis said, the Superior Court Judge Jim Ammons told her, "You could have saved your daughter and you did not. You had time, the opportunity, and the means to save Shaniya's life, and you did not. You are not a good mother." Antoinette was sentenced to 17 years in prison and told that she would have to register as a sex offender for at least 30 years. As of 2023, she is still currently serving her time. Now guys, this case was so disgusting and so infuriating to read about. I've never read such a horrific case of a mother literally selling her own daughter for $200, and she was only 5 years old. And then for Antoinette to sit here and say that she was a good mother and she did what she needed to do for her mother, you didn't do what you needed to do. You sat there and you sold your daughter for $200, and then you have the audacity to have this little pity party and say, "Oh, I did what I had to do." You didn't do what you had to do. You murdered your own daughter, and if you ask me, she deserves death just as much as McNeil. This is just very horrific, and poor Shaniya suffered. She suffered, and I know that she suffered just because investigators found that feces covered blanket. If there was any hint of a mother within Antoinette, this would have never happened. She would have never thought to settle her debt with selling her own daughter. Leave your thoughts down below. Have you guys heard about this case? I just don't even know what to say. Some people just do not deserve to be parents, and Antoinette Davis is one of them. Please leave your thoughts down below, like and subscribe, and follow for more true crime. Have a good one, guys.